We've been using what we call participatory digital and visual methods in the Here Are Stories project, and I've been using these methods in other projects as well for a number of years. I started my work doing more interview-based research focused on women's growing up stories, but I realized after a while that using something like digital storytelling allows for multiple purposes to come through, and that is we can use it as a data collection method to write notes around the activities that are going on in the workshop. We can also, though, use those stories, and the participants can use those stories to talk about their experiences and for advocacy and outreach purposes. So the work that I do has been largely, especially with the Here Are Stories project, has been at a place called the Care Center, which is located in Holyoke, and this is a GED prep site. So it's not a traditional high school, but it is a school that provides GED prep plus other extracurricular activities that may be offered at a high school or a prep school type place. We put together an arts-based sex ed curriculum in collaboration with students and staff at the Care Center, and it involved things like body mapping, where people trace bodies and tell stories around parts of their bodies that relate to their experiences. We have incorporated some digital storytelling parts, such as storytelling prompts and image activities. And then one activity that we had that has been very successful is called Design Your Own Contraception. So we're incorporating arts-based approaches for people to consider their own experiences with contraception and then ways that they envision a great form of contraception, which would actually be very useful for the pharmaceutical world.
Has it been well received?
It has been. The students, the participants have really enjoyed going through the experience. We also do incorporate information type activities, so it's not just activity without parlaying information, but participants are much more actively engaged then in discussing their own experiences with something like contraception or negotiation around sex or who they might choose as a partner, or even things like alternative sexuality, so we're trying to go outside this heteronormative context. And then their own experiences. And I think they really relish being able to talk about their own experiences and not just being talked to. My early research focused on women's growing up stories. I did a lot of interviews with women in a rural Black community in the South. And a number of the women in that community talked about using the injectable contraception, Depo-Provera, over the course of their reproductive lives, their early lives. At the same time, I was a young college student, and I noticed that my friends and I either had not used Depo-Provera or heard of it, or had a very difficult time receiving it. And that made me question why it was that certain groups of women received this as commonplace, and other women had a difficult time receiving it.